when the profits came down at the end of last year, all hell let loose, because this is the first time Emirates had ever faced a decline in its profits. And this is the beginning of the end, and Emirates is finished, etc. Well, think again.
Dubai had an announcement today for 225. Emirates has ordered a bunch of Dreamliners. Emirates also has A380s. But we always hear that the yields are low. With increasing supply coming into the market in the next few years, do you think the yields will remain low for the foreseeable future?
Much will depend on what happens in the global economy. My own view is that we are seeing an uptick in the global economy. If you ask me this time next year, where would we be? I will say that we would have moved on significantly. Yields will improve, demand for travel will improve. Already we're seeing double-digit growth in air cargo, which is always the litmus test. It all tells us that passenger demand follows 6 to 9 months on, but already our passenger demand is strong. The yields are coming up. The company is having gone through burning hoops over the last 18 months with the global traumas, nothing to do with what we do. And there are many reasons for that. We have actually positioned the business now in terms of its cost structure and its ability to generate smarter ways of getting the yield per seat improved. That's more computing power, it's more understanding of segmentation. I can go on about it, but we're a much better, leaner company in the 18 months than perhaps we were a couple of years ago. So now we can move on. Now if we get an uptick in global demand and we get an uptick in the economies that drive in emerging markets, and you see recovery already moving ahead in the US, it's starting to move ahead in the rest of the planet as well, and you get no disequilibrium caused by geopolitical traumas, Korea or whatever it may be, then I'm confident it'll pick up. So in answer to the question, yes, the prognosis was a flatlining in yields in real terms. I think probably, if my hunch is right, and it's very difficult to be, even the greatest global economists are struggling with all of this, the fact of the matter is, as long as the quantitative easing remains at a level that will be where it is today or coming off a little bit, you'll still see the economies moving ahead. I mean, we have to be quite honest, QE has driven a lot of what we see today. The smart thing to do is bring it off slowly. Your asset values are very high at the moment, so are the stock markets. Don't stop it and see it all crash, take it down. And the global economy will start, it's already moving, and once you get past that inflection point, it'll move on its own. And then you can really take these instruments out and do what you like with them. I'm kind of optimistic that's what's going to happen. I can't tell you for certain, but when in doubt, as I always say, follow your instinct.
You also remain optimistic about the premium proposition, but you have mentioned premium economy in a few conversations. Is that an indication that maybe the premium proposition, while it will continue to exist, just needs to be adjusted?
I think in terms of premium economy, we may have underestimated the demand for it. A lot of premium economy was brought to market between 2007 and today, and the global economy went through a real problem, and in many places still is. So it's been brought in by many airlines successfully, and at a time when demand was pretty flaky, and the propensity to pay more to upgrade to that has been flaky. Now, with all things I've said, I can see that picking up again. I think people's propensity to pay for premium economy, but not necessarily go into business, but with the a la carte ancillary offerings that we make, you get a better seat, reclining, more pitch, better food, etc. But you can also pay for lounge access if you want. You can pay for chauffeur drive if you want, because the technologies allow us to manage our inventory systems and reach people through our online website a lot better than we could do in the old days. So taken together with all the things I've said, we will look at premium economy seriously. We have been. Now we're actually going back again and saying, is that cabin big enough? Do we need to add another couple of rows? And what's the risk reward of that? But I'm kind of optimistic that first class will remain as strong as it has been for us. A lot of people think they're going the other way, and every time they do, I rub my hands as that's excellent. Keep thinking like that, because then we get all the business, obviously.
But you have dropped first class on some routes to Gatwick
Of course.
this winter.
Of course. You know, we will adjust the horse for the course. And you know, there are some routes that will have no first class or very little. One of those could be the Philippines. It could be Durban in South.
Right.
So we know what it is, and we know where people really make those demands. If you're talking about London, if you're talking about Los Angeles, if you're talking about Beijing, then first class demand is very strong there. I shouldn't really be saying that because all my competitors will jump in and say, well, can I have a piece of it? However, we know where it is. Where it doesn't exist to the levels that will justify a full cabin of seats, we take it down to a 2-class offering. But what we're trying to do is upgrade the business class products and eventually change it out so we have the same as we got on the A380, that kind of seat count and seat design, so that if you do not find there is first class on Emirates and you have to go on in a business class, actually it's perfectly okay.